Hi, could you tell me a bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Jessica Morse. I'm running for Congress here in California's 4th Congressional District, which includes Lake Tahoe, Yosemite, El Dorado County, Placer County. It's a gorgeous part of California. I know and love it because I am 5 generations from the district. So my great-great-grandparents actually came over on covered wagons and landed in the foothills outside of Auburn, and we still have the original homestead. I even have a gold mine that my great-grandfather won in a poker bet.
Wow. So tell me, what do you think the importance of the Women's March is?
It's really exciting to be out here at the Women's March. It's a moment where women can stand up and have a voice and demonstrate that we are really an active part of this democracy. Last year, I had seen what happens to women when they run for office. Even down ballot at the congressional levels, I was watching women who had incredible public policy backgrounds get distorted. Their good works were being used against them. And for me, when I saw that happen, I thought, how can I run? How can I serve my community in the way I've always wanted to by running for office when it's essentially like volunteering to get eaten by wolves? Yeah. And but I felt this sort of fire inside of me that was a passion to serve my country and my community. And I felt like I was being made into steel. And last year at the Women's March, I went out and I was surrounded by the sea of women who were all standing up saying we do deserve a voice in our government, that women representing only 20% of the elected bodies in the U.S. is not good enough because we're half the population. And this is a representative democracy. And so I felt that courage and strength, and it felt like if I step into this arena, women are behind me and women are supporting me. And out here today, we're standing up and saying, we've done it. We're not just marching, we're running. And we have women behind us who are supporting us because we're supporting the entire community.
So how do you think the march will benefit your campaign?
It's just been great to see the enthusiasm of women who are saying, it's not just because I'm a woman that we're running for office, it's because we're changing the political culture. It's a bunch of people, really, it's men and women are out here alike. It's people saying, it's time to stand up and serve our community. Because right now we have a bunch of guys in DC who are professional politicians. We have a representative right now in our district who is carpet bagged up from Southern California. He's not from here. He doesn't even live in the district. And he's only thinking in terms of what are the political consequences rather than asking himself what are the decisions, what are the community consequences of his decisions. And so here at the march, it's people standing up and saying this political culture needs to change. It's people saying, like me, that we need to put public servants into office. We need to put people into office who are going to be supporting and serving our community and putting our community above any political party or political philosophy and asking ourselves not how does this hurt the other side, it's how does this impact our community and our country.
Can you just tell me a little bit more about your campaign?
Absolutely. Our campaign is going great. We have over 500 volunteers who are activated and out doing stuff for our campaign. Because it's been so volunteer driven, we haven't had to spend much of our campaign money yet. And so we have raised more than any Democrat has in this district since McClintock came into office. So we have raised $560,000 nearly, and we have almost $500,000 still in the bank, because we have had such talented and dedicated support running our campaign. We have an incredible team. 3 of my 5 members of our team are mountain women. We've got one from Truckee and one from Course Gold, 4 generations. They have incredible national campaign experience. Several of them have come off of flipping House seats in Virginia, so with first-time female candidates. So they're good at this. But we've just been getting so much enthusiasm and support. We even had Martina Navratilova, the famous tennis star, found us on Twitter the other day and endorsed our campaign and donated. And so we've been getting national attention and support for this race, and it's been really exciting to see the enthusiasm, and it's giving our community a platform and a voice unlike any we've had.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for all of your work, and excited to be here on the campaign trail serving our community.
Thank you. Hi, could you tell me a bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Regina Bateson, and I'm running for Congress in District 4, which includes El Dorado County.
What do you think the importance of the Women's March is?
Oh, it's just fantastic to see so many people out, empowered, realizing that their voices make a difference, and standing up for what's right. You know, that's also really the theme of my congressional campaign. I'm running to stand up for what's right, to stand up for our families, our community, and our country.
So, how do you think the march will benefit your campaign?
Oh, it's been a great opportunity to get our supporters energized and activated. You can see we've got a few folks here with one of our campaign signs, and our Golden Poppy logo has been populating the entire march here. So we've got probably at least 50 supporters out with us today. We brought some of my kids along and actually decorated our wagon like a little bit of a float. So it was a great opportunity for us to do some team building, get people excited, and also reach out to new people. I can't tell you how many folks have stopped me as we were marching along and said, "Oh, I've heard of your campaign, I want to get involved." Or, you know, we're reaching new people as well. So I think it's a great opportunity, and again, to show that ordinary people can make a difference. I'm really a pretty normal person, honestly. I grew up in Roseville, which is part of our same congressional district, went to the public schools there, and then was able to go off to college and join the Foreign Service and work for the State Department in DC and abroad, and then go back to school and actually get a PhD. But, you know, my family is really strongly rooted here, and I'm running for Congress to be a real voice for our community. So that's why I think it's so exciting to see so many ordinary people standing up and doing everything that they can do to make a difference right now.
Can you tell me more about your campaign?
Absolutely. So my top priorities are fighting for the practical needs of people here in our district. Good paying jobs, high quality, affordable health care, world-class public schools, and a clean, safe, healthy environment. I'm really committed to supporting everyone in our district, especially small business owners and empowering entrepreneurs. And I'm also proud to say that our campaign is incredibly grassroots and has a lot of support right here in the district. We've got 575 volunteers. After today, we're probably up to 600, who knows, because people were signing up left and right. We've been doing a really competitive job with fundraising, raising the resources necessary to beat Tom McClintock, and we are continuing to grow. So if folks want to get involved, our website is displayed right here. It's batesonforcongress.com. And again, my name is Regina Bateson. Please join us.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you guys.
Hi, could you tell me a bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Lori Anzini, and I am the chair of the El Dorado Democratic Party in El Dorado County.
Can you tell me more about the party?
The party represents around 33, at least one-third of the population registered voters in El Dorado County. That's 30% of the Democrats.
Wow. So, can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Well, as chair, we organize efforts on making sure we get people elected into Democratic seats or have progressive thoughts and ideas that help support our county. So we have spent a lot of time recruiting people to run for local office, but our biggest concern is to make sure that Tom McClintock is not reelected, and we have to focus on the assembly districts too. Today, it's very obvious that those representatives that are sitting in those seats are not at this march supporting women, and the women who are the ones who vote for them. And if they're not here supporting us, why are women supporting those people who are voting contrary to the good of what women need? And that's part of it.
So, why do you think it was important to come here today?
Last year I was here. I have 2 granddaughters. I moved to El Dorado County 3 years ago. I have always been a political activist. If I can organize and work for my party, I'm going to do that. I am an unpaid protester, and I'm an unpaid staff member, but we have done significant growth in El Dorado County. Our visibility is obviously needed. We do have some serious problems in El Dorado, considering that we have editorials going into the Mountain Democrat that are seriously flawed. We have had hate posters posted on our offices. Just as today, when we went to the office, we had about 60 posters of Pepe the Frog, and it was definitely an alt-right group who did that. So our El Dorado County residents have to realize that you cannot sit back and say, oh, I figured, that's happening here all over, accept it. We should not accept that. And I'm going to plead with the Board of Supervisors next week that we establish a Human Rights Commission to make sure people, we're just an organization, but people are being subjected to this kind of behavior on a one-to-one basis.
If you had one message to the voters, what would you say?
That they think about what the Democratic Party is doing these days, and that is to make sure that the Democrats have platforms that they've been following right along. It's easy to sit back and judge what has happened in the past, but we've had a significant growth of people in activism, especially with the young people. And we have to be ready to embrace what those young people are going to bring forward when it comes to decision makings and the power that's happening. I hope that my granddaughters, as they get older, are not going to be subjected to what I was subjected to as a young woman, as a career woman.
So how do you think the youth can get involved in today's political community?
Well, the nice thing is the Democrats in Placer County and El Dorado County, Amador County, and young Democrats have formed a club. And so there is a group of young people who are participating in several campaigns. And we have 3 women who are running for Congress against Tom McClintock. And pretty soon that will be unified into one campaign. But if they want to get involved, this is the best place to do. Work in the assembly campaigns for Jackie Smith, work in the assembly campaigns for Carla Neal. Both of those assemblies, 5 and 6, cover El Dorado County. And then certainly work in local offices. And certainly the best thing for them to do, get involved, commit 2 hours a week to know what your county's doing for you. It's not all about Washington, D.C., it's about the local politics too.
Thank you so much for your time and the best of luck.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, could you tell me a bit about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So I came to the United States as a refugee from El Salvador. And at the time, we were ravaged by a civil war that was really taking over the entire country. And anyone who spoke out about the injustices that the government was doing on its people were really met with a lot of resistance, risking their lives. And that's what position my mom put herself in. Because of her trying to help people and trying to be an activist and really help everybody that was caught in the crossfire, there was an assassination attempt on her life, and she decided to immigrate into the United States. She left my sister and I behind. I was about 1.5 years old, migrated on foot until she reached the border, and it was then when she applied for political asylum. My sister and I followed soon after, so we've been in California since I was about 2 years old. What really got me involved into running was I've been really an activist since I was a kid. Of course, when you are fleeing your home country, you're always trying to keep up to date of what's happening and what you can do to better the living situations of many others. So my first protest, not even a protest really, we marched in Pride with my sister and when she was in 4th grade. So I was even younger than that. And since then, we've been keeping up with policies, international foreign affairs, and that's really what got me into this. When I was in high school is when we lost the House the first time to Gore lost to Bush over 600,000 votes with the recall. And that's really when I realized that our vote does matter and we need to remain engaged and we need to keep an active interaction with our current government to make sure that they are acting on our behalf, not working against us. And what has happened, because most people believe that we live in a society where our elected officials have our best interests in mind or at heart, we have neglected what's happening. So we are here today because We're marching for our rights that we have worked for so hard for centuries, and we have a current administration that will come in and just strip all of that overnight. And unfortunately, before he was our president, Trump clearly said that he would grab a woman no matter what because of his power and his status. So we knew right off the bat that he was going to be someone who was going to violate his power, and that's exactly what he's been doing. Today marks a year since we marched. Last year I marched, and today I'm actually running for Congress. So it has been empowering. The community rallied around me and asked me to run. And so that's why we're here today, kind of celebrating the situation of empowerment, engagement, and change.
So why do you think the Women's March is important?
The Women's March is incredibly important because it has really brought an enormous group of women together, supporters and our allies. We are marching for the rights that we have fought for so long, and we are taking a stance, the Me Too movement, to make sure that we don't continue with this double standard that we see everywhere. And it's something that I continue to fight. The rumors of a single woman who's running, it's just unbelievable. And this is exactly what we're combating. To have a minority woman who's a refugee run for Congress and having someone tell her to not run right now and wait your turn is exactly why we need to run. And so to have this much people here who support women candidates, it's empowering, and I think that's one of the things that makes this event so important.
How do you think the march will benefit your campaign?
Well, the march, it benefits our campaign because it really brings some fun into it. It gives us a little bit of heart. It gives us more reasons as to why we continue to work so hard. We have people here who marched last year, and after the march, they did go home not knowing what else to do. After the march, what now? And so for many people, being able to work on a campaign, being able to have the possibility to really affect change in the future is something that we haven't had in a long time. A movement like this hasn't happened really since the 70s. And this is exactly why we need to have every single person who was involved last year continue to be involved this year and bring a friend this time. Yeah.
Can you just tell me a bit more about your campaign?
Yes. So we're running an entirely grassroots campaign. My campaign has over 6,000 individual contributions. We're still averaging about $7 per donation. So we are running a very small dollar donation campaign. We want to make sure that we can restore democracy by getting money out of politics. And that is one thing that really pulls people to the ballot, to the booths, because most people really believe that their voice doesn't count anymore, that the ballots, the votes, the elected officials are already spoken for by money. But if we can remove that from there and tell people that if you get out, if you are engaged, that you can change that system and restore it to what it was intended to be, is what we're trying to do. We also are fighting for Medicare expansion for all. We're fighting for equity in our educational system, and we're fighting to bring jobs into this region. Many of us haven't really recovered from the recession. We continue to struggle. We have 2 counties in this district that have welcomed the new year, again with unemployment rates of higher than 9%. We have 2 counties in this district also who 52% of the population depends on some type of safety social net program. So we haven't recovered. Wall Street is doing beautifully, but we're not. We are working hard. We are the working class. We are the working poor, and we're taking a stance. And that's what we're fighting for with my campaign. We've been endorsed by Justice Democrats, by Brand New Congress, which is it's a slate of candidates from Republicans, independents, and Democrats alike. And we all want to restore a working Congress, not like the Congress that we see today that can't even come to a resolution on DACA. And now where they're shutting down our government, which doesn't affect them at all. In fact, they continue to get paid while federal workers are going on furlough and going for weeks and months unpaid until they come to a resolution themselves. So no one is really looking out for us. And this is why I'm running. What we're fighting for is to elevate upward mobility, help people, pull them out of poverty, and restore our middle class.
Thank you so much for your time. Hi, so why have you decided to attend the Women's March today?
Well, I really want to see more women in government jobs. I want to see more opportunities for women in the workplace and receive fair wages.
So, why do you think the Women's March is important?
I think the Women's March is important because we're mobilizing not only our youth but the people that we need to. There's so many different groups out here. Intersectionality is really working its part today, so I'm glad to be here.
So, how do you think the youth can get involved with stuff like this?
I think that youth can get involved in not only politics but activism through, I started a Young Democrats Club in my congressional district, and there's so many ways you can join. You can form a club. You can just meet with people and watch the news. You can have viewing parties of politics. You can head down to the Capitol. But don't forget about local. You can stop by City Hall. You can always check out with your Board of Supervisors. There's so many things that you can get involved in, especially, at schools.
So, are you here with a group?
I'm here with the El Dorado Democrats, but I'm also representing myself. I helped start the Young Democrats of District 4. So we're out here to hopefully stop Tom McClintock.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, so can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Trish Kelleher. I'm running for District Attorney in El Dorado County. I've been a prosecutor in El Dorado County for over 20 years, lived here for 20 years, and I'm very excited to bring some new vision and a new voice to the District Attorney's office.
So, what do you think the importance of the Women's March is?
Well, the Women's March has been very important. I was at the march in D.C. last year for the first march, and it's important because women are tired of not being heard. We have not had our voices at the table sufficiently, and we're tired of that, and we're speaking up, and we're getting out, we're marching, and we're running.
So, how do you think the Women's March will benefit your campaign?
Well, I'm very inspired and motivated by all of the people that have come out and are showing that it is important to everyone, men and women alike, to make sure that women are heard. And I think that the momentum that has been gathered and the excitement about putting women into public office, I think is something that will be helpful in this campaign.
So, can you just tell me a bit more about your campaign?
I'm running for District Attorney of El Dorado County, and as I said, I've been here as a prosecutor for 20 years, prosecuting cases, and it's time for me personally to step up that commitment. I am committed to the community, and I'm doing this not for myself, but for my community, because I have some really good ideas that I think will help us go forward as we have to meet the challenges of not only the growth in our county, but the changes in the criminal justice system, and we need to have better communication, more engagement with our community, and more collaboration with other people in the community and agencies so that we can meet the challenges that we're facing.
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you.